Happening now, why Governor Cuomo is warning Western New York to do better with combating COVID-19, plus a look at highlights from last night's assembly debate here in Jamestown.
And the big blue sky is smiling down at you today. That is going to continue through the afternoon, but a little bit of rain to go through tomorrow. I'll time it out next. The news at noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo is warning Western New York to do better with combating COVID-19. This just days after he announced restrictions for areas seeing a cluster. Cuomo, during a briefing with reporters yesterday, says the rules, or in this case, closures, have been proven to work to bring the infection rate down. He says that is why his new COVID Action Initiative will shut down specific zip codes experiencing outbreaks. Now, earlier in the week, the governor called our region a hot spot, but Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell says that overall, Western New York, and specifically the county, is doing extremely well with combating the virus.
We look at our numbers, the infection rate is very low, much lower than everybody else. They're seeing, we're at 1 to 1.5% at our peaks. These places they're talking about are much higher than that.
Now, Wendell doesn't expect our area to be impacted by Cuomo's new order and says he's continuing to push to have the state shift control from Albany to the county level. The executive says numbers are relatively low in the community, with over 700 COVID-19 cases spanning from the start of the outbreak in March until now. Wendell says when you compare that to the 53 active cases to the population of 127,000, the outbreak here is very much under control. So, with that in mind, the executive hopes to continue reopening while everyone in the community practices containment measures like social distancing and mask wearing. Well, with 17 new cases reported as of yesterday, the total number of COVID-19 cases in the county has reached 727. There are 6 new cases in Dunkirk, 4 here in Jamestown, 2 in Fredonia and Lakewood, and 1 each in Frewsburg, Findlay Lake, and Irving. County officials report 313 people remain under quarantine or isolation orders, and 5 people do remain hospitalized. Now, as of today, there has been 646 recoveries, 13 deaths, and 48,720 negative results of COVID-19. Well, President Trump's physician says he expects him to resume public engagements tomorrow. The White House revealed a memo from Dr. Sean Conley yesterday saying Trump has finished his course of therapy for COVID-19. The memo says Saturday will mark 10 days since the president first tested positive. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says coronavirus patients should at least wait that long until after symptoms begin. They also have to be fever-free for 24 hours without help of medication. The president hasn't been cited independently, but they say he's working in the Oval Office. The president says he believes he's now immune to the virus. Now, since science only indicates survivors might have some protections from the virus from an unknown period. Well, the Chautauqua County Sheriff is working with police agencies across the area to develop a plan for police reform. Governor Andrew Cuomo ordered local governments to develop a plan for police departments following the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis back in May. Now, Sheriff Jim Quattrone is leading the effort for the county. He says by pooling various ideas, law enforcement, along with the community, can come up with a solution that's good for everyone.
The vast majority of the guidelines that have been outlined for us in Executive Order 203 have already been being done by each of these police agencies. We review our policies and procedures each year. They are approved by the state. Many times they will come in and evaluate, especially for those who are accredited. However, I think each agency does their best to have community policing. I believe that through this initiative, perhaps we can be more intentional on our community policing and getting community more involved in the work that we're doing.
The deadlines for communities to submit their police reform plan to the state is April 1 of next year. Well, we thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now. We finally made it to Friday of this week. Good to see Wendy. Happy Friday to you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Good to see Lori, Ross, Stephanie, and Thomas as well. Hopefully everyone is having a great day. We appreciate you so much for tuning to us for your choice for local news and weather. And speaking of that weather, let's now get a check of our First Defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joins us live. Happy Friday, Dakota.
Happy Friday, Justin. Happy Friday to all of you at the end of another work week. Hey, this is a brand new Sky Vision camera that just became part of the network. This is at Chautauqua Institution, and you can see the beautiful fall colors showing up there. 56 at the institution right now, and the dew point up to 54, and it's going to be warming up once again throughout today. Can you find any clouds on this satellite image? Well, no, not here, but you can up here on Lake Ontario. But across the southern tier in northwestern Pennsylvania, we are basically almost in full sunshine across much of the area. Maybe just a few high clouds. That'll do it for today. The sunshine really is going to win today, and it is going to be much warmer out there than it has been. 59 right now in town, 60 in Mayville, 63 Dunkirk, 67 already in Erie. Randolph, you're at 59, and Olean is at 55 degrees. So it's feeling a lot warmer out there already this afternoon than it has the past couple of days. We did manage 56 yesterday. That was our peak high. 39 is where we started the day. Chilly morning. Get used to that because more of that is going to be on the way as we go down the road. 86 and 25 are the record highs and lows for this day set at the airport. So through the afternoon, lots of sunshine. Sing it with me. Here comes the sun. Do, 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 do. Just a few clouds out there. Wind picks up later in the day, 63 to 71 with a southwest wind increasing 7 to 16 miles per hour. Just a chance for a few showers tomorrow, much warmer, and then we go back down a little bit. Next week, we might be dealing with some tropical rain. I'll tell you about it in a few. Justin?
Tropical rain, some tropical tunes too there. Dakota.
Singing in the rain.
Thank you. You're welcome. Oh gosh. Well, Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell defended his administration's reaction to this pandemic, while challenger Rich Morrisroe says the county is fumbled with the Fieldbrook food situation. The two men took part in a debate this morning sponsored by WDOE in Dunkirk. Wendell expressed his confidence in his administration's ongoing handling of the pandemic, saying the county bases its decision on facts, not guesses. Meanwhile, Morrisroe says the county was slow in responding to the food company's outbreak and even slower to release information, adding there was political pressure to open businesses up early and mixed messages from different levels of government only confused things.
So we looked at the data, and that's where we've been the entire time. Nothing anecdotal, nothing guessing. We've looked at the data and how it's been presented and what we are going to do to, at the time, to flatten the curve. You know, we were very aggressive in how we dealt with things at first, met with a lot of criticism. You know, we're shutting things down. But at the end of the day, those decisions we made along the way have proven to be very successful. Our numbers have remained low. We can't put our finger on why. Predominantly now, it's why because people are following our guidance. They're wearing the masks. We received a lot of criticism. We've issued cease and desist orders on businesses who are not following and not in compliance with the governor's orders. But what we've done is kept things going and taken a safe approach and responsible approach to this pandemic.
A, I think we could have started sooner. B, I think, and again, I don't necessarily blame Mr. Wendell, but his party was pushing hard for businesses reopening sooner. And some in his party were pushing some of the narratives that, you know, the disease wasn't as serious or was a hoax or these kind of things. And to his credit, he didn't follow a lot of those arguments. But the mixed messaging coming from other layers of government, I think, caused the populace to be confused and also some to rebel against some of the safety measures that he and Christina were trying to implement and the state was trying to implement. I think we could have done more to make mask wearing cool.
Now, Wendell admits there are concerns across party lines about Governor Andrew Cuomo's executive powers, but denied there was any political pressure on his part. The two also sparred over the proposed 2021 budget, with Morrisroe calling it rosy and Wendell saying the budget is passed and based on facts, not speculation. Well, meanwhile, the County Board of Elections has received a record number of applications for absentee ballots. Election Commissioner Norm Green and Brian Abrams say the board has received 10,000 applications, easily surpassing the previous record of 4,000. The county has over 79,000 registered voters, and officials expect a 70% turnout this year, or about 55,000 people. The deadline to request an absentee ballot by mail is 2 weeks from Tuesday on October 27th. Ballots may be returned via U.S. mail, delivered to the Board of Elections post office box, or they could be dropped off at the Board of Elections in Mayville as well. Now, early voting and Election Day will be tabulated and posted unofficially at votechautauqua.com after the polls close at 9 o'clock on Election Day. The Board of Elections will be opening absentee ballots 7 and 13 days after the election, adding those votes to the Election Day totals, along with provisional affidavit ballots for voters who have moved. Well, coming up next, highlights from last night's New York State Assembly debate, and later we meet Winston, our pet of the week. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
As a former county executive, I know exactly the challenges and opportunities that we have here in Chautauqua County. That's why I'm very proud to support PJ Wendell for county executive. His knowledge, his experience, and his leadership are exactly what we need at this moment in time. I would ask you all to please support PJ Wendell for county executive.
Wendell has the experience, he's got the leadership, and he's got the knowledge and ability.
One of the most important characteristics of a successful county executive is being able to surround themselves with the right people for the right situation. And that is exactly what PJ Wendell has done. Having direct experience in county government is absolutely critical, and no one should start out as county executive with having no experience at all with county government. So PJ Wendell brings that experience both as a long-term legislator and a former chairman of the legislature. He has my 100% support.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
For the past 9 years, I've been a prosecutor right here in Chautauqua County, fighting to keep this community safe. My family lives here with me in Fredonia, and I grew up in Sherman, New York. Fighting to make sure that these communities stay safe is so very important to me. We have the highest caseload of any county in this state, and as your district attorney, I'm dedicated to making sure that each case gets handled the right way for not only the victims, but for the people that live in this county. I'm fully invested in this community, and I'm fully invested in this community's future. Vote Patrick Swanson for Chautauqua County District Attorney.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
And welcome back. A debate at the Regilene Civic Center last night between Republican incumbent New York State Assemblyman Andy Goodell and Democrat challenger Christina Cardinelli saw the latter challenge Goodell's record at pretty much every turn. The differences between the two became apparent from the start as both candidates made their 2-minute opening remarks. Goodell says that he is seeking an additional term in office because of his experience and background.
So the decisions that are made in Albany over the next 2 years are going to have major impacts on each of you. And so we need to have someone in Albany representing us who's analyzing the laws, who has that budget experience that's so critical at this time, who's looking at what the short-term and the long-term ramifications are, and putting together the strategy so that we can come out of this crisis as strong as we can possibly be.
Cardinelli, meanwhile, says she's running to become a unique official rather than an established politician.
When I hear, and I hear it a lot, that I don't have the qualifications to be running for this position, good. I take that as a compliment. I don't want to qualify as a standard politician. I want to be a working person who represents working people. Working people are the ones that care about the politics of everything the most, because they are the ones that are the most effective, whether it be positive or negative.
Now, the concept of a minimum wage increase was one of the pressing issues that was discussed during the debate. Cardinelli slammed Goodell's record for voting against the increase on 3 separate occasions.
So I'm not quite sure how serious you are about benefiting the working people and talking about raising minimum wage and talking about your awareness of minimum wage and restaurant worker wage when there have been 3 different occasions that you have not supported increasing it by only $1.
Goodell says that he was indeed able to get the assembly to recognize differences between upstate and downstate New York.
We were able successfully to get a different approach on the minimum wage, recognizing that the cost of living and the competitiveness of upstate is very different than New York City. My approach is to continue to work across the aisle in a bipartisan manner with all my upstate colleagues to make sure we maintain that fiscal parity.
Goodell and Cardinelli were later asked in the debate for their stance on the red flag laws here in New York, which are intended to prevent individuals who show signs of being a threat to themselves or others from purchasing or possessing any kind of firearm. The Republican incumbent says that while he agrees with the concept, he opposes what he says is a lack of due process protections in that legislation.
Legislation they voted on, and I voted against, would allow the police to seize somebody's guns based on a complaint from an ex-spouse, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, an ex-roommate that was not even under oath. Not even under oath. And there was no opportunity for a hearing right away. The hearing wouldn't occur until days later. And the standard on which they would use was a very, very low standard.
Cardinelli says that she also disagrees with the laws and the SAFE Act, provided she determines that they are indeed an infringement on the rights of gun owners.
I would like to sincerely sit down and truly evaluate the SAFE Act. If there's nothing of value in the SAFE Act, it should be repealed. If it prevents mass murder, if it prevents people from shooting up schools, and if there's any part of it that prevents murder, then it should remain but be amended. If it's useless, we should get rid of it.
Now, with the future of COVID-19 uncertain, many questions remain regarding New York State's budget. Projections from Governor Andrew Cuomo indicate that the state will experience a $14.5 billion deficit. That candidates also differed on how they would address that issue. Goodell says that the budget will be voted on in March will be the real challenge, adding that the state needs to look at altering its welfare and Medicaid programs.
Because our Medicaid program in New York costs us more than Texas and Florida combined, over $13 billion more. So we need to bring our expenses in line so that we can close that gap and move forward.
Now, Cardinelli says that a look at resentencing of nonviolent offenders would also help with the budget issue. In addition, she says that she, if elected, would call on New York State to legalize cannabis.
The revenue coming into the state will be significant, and there are a lot of different opportunities that will open up for recreational and also medicinal purposes.
This debate was a first of 3 that are scheduled prior to Election Day. Next Thursday at 6, the candidates for Chautauqua County Executive and District Attorney will face off right here on WNYNewsNow.com and broadcast live on WRFA-FM. Well, now let's get a check of our First Defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joins us with that. Hey, Dakota.
Hey, Justin, and hey, let's take a look, first of all, at the HD News Now cam on Links 1, and you will see that it's bright sunshine out there right now. 59 degrees is our current temperature at noon hour with a west wind of 6. The wind is going to be coming up a little bit through the afternoon. It's not going to be as breezy as it was the other day, but the winds will be coming up again for Saturday. So here's the future wind gusts for you coming off Future Scan. So by the time we head into the early morning hours tomorrow, wind gusts are likely going to be around 35, maybe 45 miles per hour. I think we'll stay below advisory criteria. We'll see on that. But again, as often is the case, the strongest winds are going to be right near the Lake Erie shoreline tomorrow. And the wind gusts are still going to remain pretty gusty, especially through the afternoon. We're looking at wind gusts possibly 30 to 40 miles per hour. And then they start to back off a little bit as we go essentially through the day on Saturday. Wind gusts here by the time we go into the 10 p.m. hour already dropping off to about 10 or 15 miles per hour. So the trash can-o-meter, where is your trash can going to be going if you have garbage pickup on Saturday? Well, it's likely going to be tipped over again. And again, this is a new graphic that we created. You guys have been asking for this graphic, so we created it. So there it is. Your trash can will likely just be tipped off, just be tipped a little bit. High pressure ridge has built in across the Northeast. That is giving us magnificent weather. But down to the south in the Gulf of Mexico, we still have Hurricane Delta, now a major Category 3, 115 mile per hour winds. This thing is close to landfall, and the forecast track from the Hurricane Center has this coming in basically into the Gulf Coast states. It doesn't matter if this comes in as a 2 or a 3, the impact is still going to be the same here. But what we're keeping an eye on is, even though the center is going to dissipate near Nashville, there is a chance as a deep upper level trough comes into the region on Monday, we could see some tropical like rain showers around here Monday and Monday night. So Future Scan paints you the picture of nothing through the day, lots of sunshine, so enjoy it. Now as we head into tomorrow, you'll see Future Scan starting to spark up a few showers. It's not going to be widespread coverage, but it will be scattered in nature, on again, off again type of showers. And there will be some pockets of partial sunshine in between. And make sure you download the app. We keep you updated on the app 24 hours a day. Next 7 days of your life brought to you by 42 Degrees and Sunny. We warm up to 74 tomorrow, nice and warm, but it becomes windy. Sunday, 63, more clouds, but I think we'll see some partial sunshine. Monday, some of that rain could be moderate to heavy in intensity, depending on if we get any of that tropical moisture. 66 Tuesday, just a morning shower. Then the sun is back for Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures going into the mid to upper 60s. Now with the pet of the week, here's Jay Gould.
All right, Dakota, thank you. Coming up in just minutes, we meet our pet of the week. Stay with us.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smokin' deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
Hi, I'm George Borrello, and I'm proud to serve as your senator for New York's 57th Senate District. In fact, in my first year, I've passed many pieces of legislation as well as helping people and businesses in these challenging times. From fighting for a safe, common-sense reopening of our state's economy during the COVID-19 pandemic, to continuing the push for the repeal of the state's flawed criminal justice changes, which have made us all less safe, I am working hard for you every day as your state senator. Your vote will help me continue my mission to boost New York's economy, struggling from the COVID shutdown, and for small businesses not just to survive, but thrive. I will also continue to hold the government accountable by reviewing policies that led to the tragic nursing home deaths statewide. I'm proud to represent our beautifully diverse region, and I will be honored to have your vote on Tuesday, November 3rd, so that I can continue my work fighting for you. It's not about rhetoric, it's about results.
Paid for by Borrello for Senate.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. It's now time for pretty much my favorite segment of the week, our Pet of the Week, where each week we highlight a new furry friend from the Chautauqua County Humane Society. And this week, it's a pleasure to introduce you to Winston. Winston is a mixed breed large dog. He's over 44 pounds when fully grown. He's about a year and 2 months old, and he is quite the cutie. Now, he is spayed and neutered. However, he's probably not a good fit for households with cats. And unfortunately, because of his energy level, Winston probably isn't a good fit for small kids. However, if you're looking to have somebody to go for a walk with you or enjoy some time outside, he is definitely your man. So, of course, to learn more about Winston and the many other furry friends who are available right now at the Chautauqua County Humane Society, all you have to do is visit chqhumane.org, where you can learn more information. And certainly it's great to see Winston, and he is such a good-looking dog. And you know, the Humane Society has a lot of great-looking dogs there, and cats, and even other animals as well. So chqhumane.org is the best place to learn more about the pets. And speaking of our furry friend Winston, joining us live now is Brian Papalea. He is the communications director at the Humane Society. Brian, thanks so much for tuning in today. We appreciate you, and I've already introduced our friend Winston here on the broadcast, so if you can, tell us a little bit more about him.
I just caught the tail end of that, no pun intended. And I've got Amanda Sublet here from our staff, and she's going to tell you a little bit more. We have both Sage and Winston out here. So I'm going to get Amanda in the picture here.
Hi, guys.
And so we've got Winston is over. I'm going to switch it around now that you've got Winston right now. So tell us a little bit about Winston.
Winston is all around a great. He's very social. He's easygoing but energetic at the same time. Just not a fan of cats, really. That's our only hang-up. Isn't he gorgeous?
Yeah, he definitely is. And it seems like we have a special this week, 2 dogs on the Pet of the Week. Who else do you have with you today?
Yeah, we're going to come over here and see Sage, and I'll let Amanda talk a little bit about Sage.
Sage is another great guy. Great match for him. Definitely also not a fan of cats. And for him, we're not going to go with little children because he's very rough and rowdy. We don't want those little guys getting hurt. You can see them play and they get a little crazy.
Oh yeah, that looks like the fun times at my mom's house. She has 2 dogs, and boy, they really enjoy themselves. It looks like they are out there today too at the Humane Society. For people to learn more, I know we've talked about this at depth before, Brian, but what's the best way for them to maybe meet up with the dogs and see if it's a good fit?
Fill out the online application at chqhumane.org, and once we get that, we will call you to make an appointment to set up a time to come and meet these guys.
All right, certainly. Brian Papalea and Amanda, thanks so much for joining us today on the show. We really appreciate having you both here.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you. We'll see you next week. Well, that's going to do it for our broadcast today. Of course, we are back next week, and a programming note for you. We'll return Tuesday following the long weekend. We'll leave you with a live look over Chautauqua Lake. Have a great day and an even better weekend.